Hi, this is Tim Cornick with Reverend Guitars. Today we're going to be talking about changing strings with our pin lock tuners. What you'll need to follow along is, of course, fresh clean strings, a Phillips head screwdriver, and wire cutters. Today we're just going to change out the low E string, but the process is the same for all of them. So, first off, we're going to loosen the tuner . Once the string's nice and loose, we're going to loosen the thumb screw, which lowers the pin inside the tuner. Now that that's out, I like to cut off the crimped end just to make it easier. Take it out of the stop tail and set that aside. We'll take the fresh string, slide it on through here, and now feed this through the tuner. Lowered the pin a little bit to help it get through there. Now, instead of wrapping it around like you would with a traditional tuner, you're just going to pull this straight through nice and tight. Once that's in place and it's seated appropriately in the saddle and in the nut, you're going to tighten this thumb screw on the back of the tuner and clip the excess. Set the excess aside, and now with the tuner, we will pull that back into proper intonation, and that's pretty much it. Now, because these are locking tuners, you don't have to wrap around the post like you would with a more traditional vintage tuner that doesn't have a locking mechanism. But because of that, we're going to have a lot more tension and force being pulled from the bridge than as is tradition. A way to combat that, and a very, very important part of our setups, specifically with guitars that have a Bigsby vibrato system or a Wilkinson trem, is to, Jeff, if you'll follow me down here, tighten the screws on the tuner buttons. And that's why we have our Phillips head screwdriver. So you go in there and tighten that up. And when you do, it'll make this knob harder to turn, which may be a little weird the first time you get into it, but over time, that'll keep the string tension from pulling the string flat and give you greater tuning stability in the long run, especially whenever you're using a trem like I mentioned. That's pretty much it. This is a video guide to changing strings with our pin lock tuners. There's also a written guide in page 5 of our care and feeding guide. But there you have it, changing strings with pin lock tuners.